Last fall, Norm and I headed off to spend a couple of days exploring the Catskill Mountains, located northwest of New York City. Our ultimate destination was Bethel, New York, the site of the famous Woodstock concert of 1969. In my opinion, and as it turns out many others, hallowed ground, where folks like The Who, Janis, and Jimmy ripped it up for 3 days and made rock and roll history.
Norm, here we are at the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. What, did you take the brown acid? What's with the glasses?
You know, even talking about coming to the original site of Woodstock for weeks and days and hours and minutes, and then getting here, you make me wear these glasses to kind of be in the era. But here we are.
You've nailed it. And look at this. Here we are at the original site of Woodstock, August 1969. Can you imagine? The stage was right there, and it was a sunny day like today, the Monday morning. Jimi Hendrix came out. He did the Star-Spangled Banner to about 400 people. But no, at one time, 500,000 people right there.
Which is incredible, because when you think of it, they had planned this thing for 50,000. 500,000 show up. I couldn't even fathom trying to deal with that number of people and the infrastructure, how it was overwhelmed by that group during that weekend.
Yeah, well, this is, I think, sacred ground. You know, there's a monument here that was erected in '84. Actually, this was put here in place before the center was here by some locals and some hippies that had come to the festival. But forget Graceland. This is it, you know. And if you look around, it's all still here. You know, apparently back here on this grassy knoll, this is where the helicopters landed to bring in the bands. And there was the tent was set up there for the artists, and of course that's where the managers all demanded to get paid before they went on the stage. But there's some ponds down there. If you've watched the documentary film, there's another lake just over there where all the skinny dipping took place. And they've got a museum, a beautiful museum just up on the hill there with lots of memorabilia and lots of history. And then just over the hill, they've now put in place a 16,000 seat amphitheater. So there's still music happening here every summer. But what a spot.
It's special, you know. Everybody talks about it. Everybody says my father or my grandfather. Somebody was at the festival. Somebody knew it, that, you know, in that era.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got to get down here and we got to see it. But, you know, if you're coming down to the Catskills and you're planning to spend a couple of days riding to this area and through this area, you need at least 2 hours here, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about that a little bit on the trip. We didn't even get into what Oneonta had to offer in that area, but everywhere you go, there's something to see and do. So you need to plan a little bit of time here. It's not like a 2-3 day trip through, you know. Plan a week to be in this area and plan 2-3 hours at all the different stops.
Right. Believe it or not, just down the road, Yasgur's Farm. I saw the sign. It's still there. Man, I just can't believe that we're here and we're looking at this, and I'll just keep rambling on and on. Get your bike, get down here. It's awesome. It's well worth the trip. Thanks for coming with me, man.
Absolutely.
Great to have you here.
Man, what a terrific experience. Well worth the ride.